That's it. It's a go. Here we are. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. So I'm veteran coach Jen McDonald with VA Claims Insider, and I'm here today with my work bestie, veteran coach Jesse Martin. We are going to be essentially handling a no-holds-barred Q&A today, asking any questions related to the ELITE program process, or VA claims questions, the process. What should I claim? How should I develop my claim? How will you guys guide me? So we're here as a resource to really handle all things VA Claims Insider or all things VA disability. So we've already got some questions that are rolling in, so we'll get to those eventually. But right now, we just want everybody to kind of give us a shout out. Let us know where you're at. Let us know where you are in your claims process. And if you're already working with a coach, give your coach a shout out. Just go ahead and throw that in our chat so we can welcome you guys as you're joining the room. And we'll chat a little bit just kind of amongst ourselves, Jesse and I, while we're getting those shout outs so we can say hi to everybody as you're coming in. What branch are you in? When did you serve? Where are you checking in from today? And who's your coach if you're already working with somebody? So we already got Angela jumping in from Dallas. We had Angelo say there's no sound. Is that on our end or is that Desert Storm veteran Angela in Dallas, Texas?
Good. 7-year Army veteran in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I hope it's not too cold there today. I'm coming to you guys live from Montana. It's about 7 degrees right now. So hope you guys are all staying warm or staying cool. I know the Southwest is having a heat wave right now. Southeast is having a heat wave right now.
Martin, I'm up in your neck of the woods. I'm just south of you, just south of Des Moines. So I'm not far at all. We're Midwest, from the Midwest here together. We've got Chris Willis, a Navy vet from Chicago. Justin, missed that one. 68 to 72, Marine. Thank you for being here. We've got Farrell, Fontana, California, as a veteran working with Coach Chris Faria currently. So thank you. We've got one of our current vets representing, going through the program, going through the process with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Kurt Evans, U.S. Air Force, 85 to 06, Pensacola, Florida.
Got some more Marines in here. We've got a big room full of Marines and Army. We need a little bit more representation from the Navy and the Air Force. Let's get Coast Guard. Let's get Space Force in here. We are really glad to have everybody checking in. We've got Don Lombard working with Coach Charles Rosario, so another veteran who's already working through the program with us. It's really nice to see you guys in here supporting. I'm sure that we've got some of our old timers, some of our regular. Oh, there's Ricky. Yep, Ricky Dowdy right there.
Well, it looks like one of your veterans are in here too, Jen.
I don't see that one yet.
Twan McGuinn, 989 to 04, yes. U.S. Air Force, Coach Jen.
Right on. Hi, Twan. Thanks for being here. Here he is. So both Jesse and I have been here with VA Claims Insider as veteran coaches for just over 2 years. Actually, we came in together. We came through the same training group with the same training manager, and we have worked side by side together, working with veterans, sharing our knowledge, brainstorming, troubleshooting, as work besties for over 2 years now. And I can attest to the fact that over my entire career, my lifetime, this has been the most fulfilling and rewarding role I've ever been in, related to working with veterans, working locally, working in a volunteer status with my local veterans, and combined with this last 2 years have professionally been the most fulfilling time of my life. And I know I speak for you, but I'll let you speak. Jesse's going to say the exact same thing.
So a little bit about me. I am a military veteran. I served 21 years active duty, multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I actually transitioned to this position as I was retiring from the Army. I had about 2 months of overlap where I was still on active duty when I started this job. And the experience I've had over the last 2 years has been priceless. What Jen and I get to do every day is just amazing. I thought 21 years was never going to be beat by how rewarding something can be. And 2 years of this beats out my 21 years of service altogether. No matter where you served, when you served, we all chewed some of the same dirt. It doesn't matter what branch you were in. And I couldn't be more happy to be here and helping our veteran family, because that's what we are. We're a family, much more than a community. We're a family. And you guys will hear me say chew the dirt all the time, because we all did that in some shape, form, or fashion with each other.
I think sometimes some of you guys are still sneezing that same dirt too. But I actually come to the table with a different perspective. I did not serve, did not join, I do not have a DD-214 behind me. My connection to veterans comes from my family. I'm the daughter, wife, and mother of United States Marines. So my dad served prior to me being born, but I was raised with that Marine mentality. My husband is a combat Gulf War veteran who is 100% service connected. I have an Afghanistan veteran as well, who is 90% service connected. And I have another young buck Marine who is in C school currently. So I'm continuously putting myself through this Marine situation. But I'm really proud that daughter, wife, and mother of United States Marines, and dealt with a lot of different, very similar situations. So from a different perspective, that of the wife and the mother, and being able to support my veterans with that perspective has really been a good way to support my veterans through the process. So again, I've been here for just over 2 years, and this is 100% the most rewarding interaction that I get to have with my veterans, affecting life change, empowering and educating my veterans through the process, VA claims process, the elite program, and really developing those relationships and supporting them through the process. So I'm gonna let Jesse, I think we've got a disclaimer to get through, and then we kind of want to talk about the VA CI process a little bit before we get into the question and answers, just so that everybody, those of you who are not already working with a coach or working with the program, have a good overview of what the program is and how we may be able to help you going forward. Then we'll get into the question and answers. So bear with us, we'll get there.
So disclaimer, we are not accredited agents, VSOs, attorneys, or any other entity recognized by the Department of Veteran Affairs, and we are not affiliated with the VA in any way. VA Claims Insider is an education-based coaching consulting company for disabled veterans exploring eligibility for increased VA disability benefits and who wish to learn more about that process. VA Claims Insider also connects veterans with vetted independent medical professionals in our referral network for medical examinations and independent medical opinions for a wide range of disability conditions. Awesome. So, Jen, you ready to talk about the strategy, education, and medical evidence?
SEM. So one thing I want to pull out of our disclaimer real quick is to clarify, we are not accredited agents. We are not VSOs, and we are not attorneys. So essentially what that means for you is we're not doing this for you or on your behalf, okay? We're providing guidance and education as well as support through the process. We're going to walk you through every step. We're going to help you with identifying what the potential is for you to achieve, based on your medical records, based on your current conditions. And we're going to help you with establishing the evidence that's needed in order to be successful. We're going to, again, walk through every single step. We're going to walk through claim submission. You don't know how to claim, where to go to file a claim. You don't know what they need. We're going to walk through that with you. Okay. We're also going to prepare you for a likely CMP exam that's going to be related to that claim. Beyond that, we're going to either be working on our next steps. What are we going to develop next? Or we're going to be waiting out that claim decision, reviewing that claim decision with you, determining whether or not that claim decision is accurate. And if not, then we stay in the game. We're getting right back in there and we're going to keep writing out that evidence that we submitted, or maybe gather more. But we don't give up. If you're submitting a claim that is well developed and fully supported with good evidence, we're going to keep writing that out to success, because the success is there and we're going to keep you in the game. That's part of our role as a coach. We have questions coming in. The best way to get started, if you're not working with a coach, you have two ways to get started. One, you can try signing up for a free discovery call. Okay, so you can sit down with one of our representatives, talk about your current situation. Maybe you're not service connected yet. Maybe you're lower than you think you are. Maybe you're at 90% and you know you can get to 100%, but currently you're stuck and you need guidance on how to get there. Okay, sit down with the representative in the discovery call and talk that out. Let them tell you how we can help, or if we can help. I'll be honest, Dream Crusher statement, we're not the right program for everybody. And we wish we were. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot of tech, but there's tech involved. And we've got a lot of people who maybe are going to struggle with being able to upload documents, maneuver back and forth through some websites. So if that's you and that you're a person who struggles with those, with that ability, see if you can get somebody lined up to help you with that. Have a kiddo or a neighbor or a family member who can help you out with that tech. Because once you're in the program, it's really, truly worth the time commitment to get through and get the steps completed. Once you do decide to join the elite program, you're going to get an email or a couple emails, because you'll be immediately assigned to a veteran coach. Okay. So a lot of people are eager. We want to jump right in. We want to get on the call and we want to get this figured out. We need you to do a couple steps first in order for our first call together, you and your veteran coach, to be as efficient and productive as possible. We're going to ask you to upload some documents. One is going to be your DD-214. We need to make sure that we are working validly with U.S. veterans. And then we're going to ask you to show us via the documentation, where are you currently at? Are you starting at 0%, not service connected, never submitted a claim? Okay, you can get an e-benefit screenshot that shows not service connected or no rating. And we can go right to work. We're going to ask for some medical records to kind of help show us where we're starting from. What conditions are you dealing with that we may be able to potentially help you with service connecting? Previous denials, service treatment records, all of these are going to help us to have the best, most efficient and productive strategy session as we can. So that's going to take you maybe a couple days from the time that you get contacted, get the email from your coach, a couple days to put these things together and then jump on your coach's schedule. We strongly recommend that you jump into a new client orientation. If you're a new client, you haven't talked to your coach yet, make the time to jump into the orientation group, because we want you to fully understand. A lot of our little snippets on our videos, even our Facebook Live, we can't really go through the entire beginning to end of the process and expectation setting here. So make the time to jump into an orientation so that you can be very clear about what you signed up for, what to expect from your coach and your coach's assistant, what to expect from the other coaches, and the entire program. So we strongly recommend that you jump into a new client orientation once you are connected with your coach. What do you have to add, Jesse?
Well, a funny story about DD-214s, that's important to have up there. Not long after I started working here, I think it was my 3 or 4 month mark, I had a British soldier that signed up for our services that was trying to get VA disability. And real quick, I identified that and let him know this was for United States veterans. Jen hit everything on the spot. That free discovery call you can do is an amazing tool to find out if our program is for you or not. And that would be a good start as well. We also have direct referral links. Coach Jen has a direct referral link. I have a direct referral link. So if you would love to work with either one of us, we can have those links posted down below. It's pretty much all I have right now, Jen. You ready to move forward? You covered it all.
I am. So this is a no holds barred Q&A. We're going to answer the questions in chat as best we can. Some of them are going to be very, very specific. And if we can't answer you, we definitely get on the discovery call and see if you can get with a coach that can help out more specifically. Again, we're going to do as much as we can without getting really digging down into a strategy. We'll give you the best we can. So please ask questions about either the VA claims process itself or VA Claims Insider Elite program. We did get a question before we even started today about getting how do I get my code sheet? Okay, so what your code sheet is, it's a list of information that the VA has related to all of your claims. Okay, so the information that's going to be on your VA code sheet is your veteran name and your VA file number, which is also in most cases your social security number. If you have a representative or power of attorney, that's going to be listed there. Active duty service history, character of discharge. If you have any conditions that are not considered static, if you're already rated for conditions that have routine future exams scheduled or will be reviewed later, those dates are actually going to be listed on the code sheet. Okay. Your diagnostic codes for each of your conditions that you're already rated for. A list of non-service connected VA disability conditions. This means conditions that you've applied for but not been successful with service connection yet. And we want to know that because we want to see what is the rationale behind denial. So how do we go back and potentially develop that for success later on? It'll give us your combined VA disability rating. So all of your rated conditions, their individual ratings and to equal their combined rating, which is not math. 10 plus 10, 60 plus 10. It's not regular math. It's VA math, and it's called fuzzy math. Any special?
How many 10% conditions does it take to equal 100%?
Is it 27?
Do you remember? 27. 27. So, just because the way the VA does math, is horrible. 27 10% conditions. The way we do math, that's 270%. But we're going to get you there.
It's really a good thing that you threw that out there. 10% by 10% by 10% is a tough way to get to 100%. So our strategy is to develop the path of least resistance to the highest value claims. We want to move that needle as quickly and as largely as we can for you with high value claims. Okay. So little 0 and 10%. Yeah. Okay. We'll move those to the back of the line. We want to move the higher value claims to the front of the line. Let's focus on the conditions that are likely to be successful and have a high value to them so that we can move that needle towards your ultimate goal as quickly as possible and in bigger chunks. We don't want you to make an investment in time or money in little nudges. We want to move that needle again as quickly and as big of a step as we possibly can in each claim and each step.
Going for those high value claims are going to be the key to getting to 100%. I'm personally 100% total and permanent through the VA, and it's my mental health rating that gets me there because I'm rated at 70% for PTSD. Without that, I wouldn't be at the 100%. So really think about those high value claims as you move forward. If you sign up to be an elite member or you're already an elite member, really pay attention to the strategy you and your coach develop. You may come into this process with certain thoughts in your head on which avenue you want to go. That may not be the best course of action. So develop that strategy with your coach and move forward smartly from there.
It's really important when you're getting with a coach. Again, we're very different from an accredited agent or a VSO. We're coaching literally like a personal trainer for your VA claims. Okay. But be open to different perspective. You're coming to us potentially with, God, I've been dealing with this knee forever and ever and ever. Let's not say we're not going to develop that, but let's talk about conditions that are going to have far more value to start you off with. And then kind of put that in the list related to priority based on ease of winning and value of claim. So be open to
Jen,
perspective, be open to strategy.
I'm a brand new veteran to this process, Jen. What are some of the high value claims?
Mental health. And mental health is going to be the highest value claim because, and that doesn't mean PTSD. Everybody doesn't have PTSD. Everybody isn't appropriate for PTSD. But mental health as a secondary to your service connected conditions is open to everybody. There is some aspect of impact on your lifestyle related to every condition, even tinnitus. Okay. So mental health secondary to your service connected conditions is a huge one that you want to explore with your coach because you have potential for an average of 70%. The average mental health rating for every veteran, whether it's stressor induced or a secondary to already service connected conditions, the average rating for mental health is 70. So imagine being able to jump right in and go from 10 to 70%. We have that win. We get that win multiple times weekly. Every one of our coaches, that's one of the most standard. Another high value claim is going to be digestion, GERD or IBS, related to taking meds, related to exposures. Huge opportunity for success and an average of 30% to move the needle. Migraines. Migraines are contributed to by all kinds of different factors: sleep apnea, insomnia, anxiety, neck issues, tinnitus. Migraines, 1 to 2 prostrating headaches, meaning puts you to bed, affects your job. I need to step away from life for a while to recover. It's an average of 30%. You don't want to leave that on the table. You want to chase it and move that needle towards the ultimate goal. Other high value claims are going to be a lumbar spine because of the likelihood of adding lower extremity radiculopathy or sciatica. And then we're kind of going with the joints also, because if you're starting with knees, we can develop secondaries. So, and I did see that somebody's had asked, can you talk a little bit about secondary conditions? So we're talking about high value claims, and sometimes those high value claims are developed as secondaries. So what, are you okay with me jumping into this, Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a secondary condition is based off of your primary already service connected condition. So you want to make sure that when you're filing a claim for a secondary condition, one, you're filing it and listing that this is caused by another already service connected condition, but two, you're developing medical evidence in support of that condition, that connection. Okay. So mental health secondary to chronic pain. Okay. We need to have a nexus statement. We need to have that support stating that from a doctor stating that, in my professional opinion, this veteran's diagnosis of XYZ is at least as likely as not caused by or contributed to by this already service connected condition. So nexus letters are going to be very important for successfully connecting secondaries. Lots of, again, different pathways for developing back as a secondary, upper or lower extremity radiculopathy as a secondary, headaches, vertigo is a common secondary. I mean, the list goes on, but definitely discuss with your coach the likelihood of being able to develop a secondary. I'll tell you that sometimes when I'm reviewing, one of the documents that we ask for from our veterans before we get started is their e-benefits rated disability summary. And we'll often see migraines denied, GERD denied, low back denied, but service connected for other conditions. Potentially that denial is because that condition would more likely be better suited as a secondary. Okay. If we're not able to go all the way back to service to successfully connect a condition, let's talk about how we can connect it as a secondary. So don't leave out secondaries. There's so much value in them to help move the needle. Always be open to discussing secondaries with your coach.
Awesome. Let's see. Let's pull up another question. Let's see. I'm primary rated for tinnitus at 10% and secondary for SSD. Can I get migraines, headaches added? That is something you can work on, bud. Just depends on how you want to go about it. It would require a nexus letter. So that would be something you could work on. As you know, we mentioned in our disclaimer, we do have a vetted independent medical professionals in our referral network that can assist with that. So if that's something you're looking for to do that free 30-minute discovery call.
So, and for migraines or headaches, make sure that you have a form for any condition that you're going to file a claim on. We talked at the beginning, very out of the beginning, SEM, strategy, education, and medical evidence, medical records. Did I say that right?
Medical evidence.
Medical evidence wins claims. Okay. You'll see and hear that as a common theme through VA Claims Insider. Medical evidence wins claims. You have to be formally diagnosed for the condition that you're claiming. Okay. If you're filing for migraines or headaches, you need to have medical evidence showing that you've complained formally with your doctor about the headaches, the frequency, severity, and duration of your headaches. Back condition. We don't want to just file a claim for back. We want to know what's going on in there. We want x-rays. We want to know if there's arthritis involved, if there's degeneration, because those are key terms that not only help with obviously part of a diagnosis, but they're going to tell the VA whether or not this is likely a static condition. This is going to continue to get worse. So we're just going to give them the rating. We don't need to keep reevaluating. Or is this something we need to reevaluate because degenerative isn't considered? But for headaches, any condition that you're going to service connect, you want to service connect, start with the diagnosis. Okay. The next thing that you need is an in-service event, which can be an already service connected condition or a complaint on active duty. The third thing that you need to service connect, either a primary or a secondary, is the link between the current complaint and the in-service event. Okay. So that's where the Nexus comes in. Don't discredit the need for a Nexus and the fact that we work with and refer our veterans daily to an organization that consistently puts out evidence that supports our veterans through success. These IMOs, the DBQs, and the Nexus are often golden tickets. Okay, when you're using a Nexus or an IMO from Telemedica, the likelihood of success is over 90% on initial review. If we end up getting to an HLR, initial review wasn't successful, but we get to actually pull it out and have that claim reviewed by a higher level with Telemedica documentation attached, we're closer to 99% success. So consider that, and consider that when your coach is coaching you through the evidence, medical evidence on the in-service event, medical evidence on the current complaint, and medical evidence to link the two. That's where success lies.
One of the other good things I love about Telemedica that they recently started is a comprehensive record review. They'll do a comprehensive record review on you, and you'll get a list back of what conditions they can provide Nexus letters or DBQs for, or IMOs, independent medical opinions for. Opens the door for a lot of other claims after the medical professionals do that comprehensive record review on you. Sometimes, we don't know what's in our records, and letting a medical provider look at it, even looking at some of that chicken scratch handwriting that we can't read from our doctors, maybe that medical professional can make some sense of it. So doing that comprehensive record review at a minimum will help out a lot, help you identify what the strategy should be, what claims to go after. And it just gives us more power as coaches to say, okay, we're going to do A and B at the same time. Then we're going to follow it up with C and D because they're secondaries.
I love that they've started doing this. This is something that that just completely changes the game. When we do our strategy session, we're looking at trajectory and we're looking at a long-term game plan. So strategy may be 1, 2, or 3 different claims filed consecutively. And when we do our strategy session and we identify you've got this condition, these could potentially be service connected as well. And then we go to Telemedica and they do that comprehensive records review as opposed to going for each individual Nexus letter or DBQ that you may need. Now you go one time for that initial review and they give you the list. We can do a Nexus letter for each of these conditions, a DBQ for these conditions. Here's some conditions that we still need more evidence on. but they're giving us everything we need to know to chase out our initial strategy from that first 15-minute call. And it's amazing. We know right from the beginning, not only is our strategy on point, but we can get evidence to support it to go all the way. So that's a huge game changer. And I take every opportunity I can to give applause to Telemedica for changing that step. Okay, let's see more questions in here.
Let's see, we got a question about BDD. That's not something we typically work with, but I'd like to answer Sunny's question real quick since I have some experience with BDD. So Sunny, just to answer your question about the BDD, a lot of that's not something we help with because you're still on active duty. You have all the tools at your disposal to get to where you want to be. In my experience of sharing, just talking with my buddies that have recently retired, that have done the BDD, they received their award within a month of being out. I'm not sure if it works that way for every veteran, but I've had 5 or 6 friends over the last year get their disability rating within a month of being out.
Can you clarify?
Helps you out, bud.
Can you clarify what BDD stands for?
So BDD is what you do 90 to 180 days prior to getting off of active duty. You can do your disability claim that between that 90 and 180 day mark. Essentially, you do everything, your C&P exams, all that while you're still on active duty. And if the process works correctly, you're supposed to have your disability rating on that first day you're out. Does it always happen? Usually happens within that first month of being separated. Great program if you can get it to work for you. When I was retiring and trying to transition, I just got the runaround on it. So Sunny, props to you for getting it done. I thought I was good at technology until I tried to do that claim. So props to you, sir. And, just stay with it. Within that first month of being out, hopefully you see something.
I am jumping to Michael Areno has a question. Do you have any doctors that treat tinnitus in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area? And I just want to clarify, Telemedica, we don't refer our veterans to providers for your healthcare. That's your preference. Find a provider that is convenient, that is renowned. If you're able to, you do not need to use a VA provider in order to file VA claims. You don't need to use a VA provider to work with us. You do need to have medical evidence. So see a provider that's local, that's convenient, that's recommended, that works with your insurance. That's all entirely up to you. So just to clarify that, with regard to Telemedica, Telemedica is an organization that only works with veterans to establish supporting medical evidence. So sometimes it's an independent medical opinion. Sometimes it's a nexus that's developed based on already existing medical evidence. The two sides, the in-service event and the current complaint, they develop that nexus supported by science and physiology to support that connection. And sometimes it's the DBQ based on the medical evidence that you're sharing with them related to the complaint, the severity of your condition. So they're not actually providing treatment. At some point, again, will provide diagnostic services. Right now, it's basically supporting evidence in the form of IMOs, Nexus, and DBQs. I just wanted to clarify that for Mike. I see another one. What do you do if you need a Nexus letter to connect secondary, but you don't have insurance to go to the doctor? So as a veteran, you may qualify to be able to be seen at the VA to get your initial diagnosis. So reach out to the VA, let them know your situation, let them review for appropriate to determine whether or not it's appropriate for you to be seen there. And then maybe you'll be able to get healthcare through the VA. They do have certain criteria that you need to meet if you're under a certain rating to be able to receive healthcare through the VA. But if you're unemployed and don't have insurance, that's probably going to be your. There may be some local options available as well, community resources. But if you need a Nexus letter, the Nexus are an out-of-pocket cost because they're an additional opinion. So you're taking your doctor, your medical evidence to Telemedica to have it reviewed. So it's an independent ask. It's not medically necessary. So insurance doesn't pay for it. The Nexus letters range between $495 and $595. IMOs start at $395, and DBQs are about $300. So they're very affordable when you're coming at them as a veteran connected with with VA Claims Insider. I can't speak to their prices if you're a veteran coming in off the street for their evidence, but if you're connected with us, their pricing is significantly discounted to make it affordable to be able to get potentially Nexus or multiple Nexus if needed. But definitely reach out to the VA and see if they're the right situation for you related to your health care.
So, Randy Bordeaux, is there an alternative to Telemedica? Is there something they cannot provide a DBQ for, such as TMJ? To answer your question, Randy, I have not heard of them not being able to provide a DBQ. In very rare instances, they will not be able to provide a DBQ or Nexus. Going back to that comprehensive record review, that's why it's important to have that so they can look at all your conditions instead of just that one condition.
I saw a question about Champ VA, and this is a benefit for the dependents of 100% service-connected veterans. And so for the spouse or children or dependent parents of veterans who are service-connected at 100%, we have a question. Can you talk about Champ VA, how to sign your spouse up, and the dental programs for spouses? There's no dental program for the spouses. The dental program is only offered to the 100% service-connected veteran. So dental program through the VA, excuse me, I just had my screen jump up and distract me. Dental program may be offered, but you're fully covered as a 100% service-connected veteran. That includes your dental care. Champ VA is a secondary type insurance. Let's see, what is Champ VA? I'm just going to read it right off. It's a civilian and medical program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. It's a health program in which Veterans Affairs shares the cost of certain healthcare services and supplies with eligible beneficiaries, so wives, dependents of husbands of 100% service-connected conditions. So I did ask, there it is, okay, for our behind-the-scenes crew who are amazing and are keeping us up to speed on all of these questions to share the link. So you'll be able to find this blog post at our website related to Champ VA, how to apply, who does it help, how does it help, and the top 10 services that require pre-authorization when you're using Champ VA. So you should find some really good resources there.
Just a caveat on the Champ VA, if you're eligible for TRICARE because you're retired or medical retired, you will not be eligible for Champ VA. Your family members will not be eligible for Champ VA because they're eligible for TRICARE. I know that sounds unfair. I complain about it all the time, but those are the cards we're dealt when it comes to being retired from the military.
Okay, let's jump into Lance R. Lee's question. I'm already 100% P&T, previous client, looking to apply for toxic exposure. Do I have to re-sign up for the elite program? Lance, you're already 100% P&T. The likelihood that asking for anything additional is not, okay. The likelihood that that's not going to open you up for reevaluation on any or all of your already service-connected conditions is low. We really want, when our veterans get to 100% P&T, I've won. Hang up your sword and leave the battle. You do not need to keep fighting. You're 100%. It's permanent in total. Permanent in total in the true definitions. You are 100% covered. you are permanently covered. Anything that arises with regard to a healthcare issue is already service connected. If you have complications related to a condition that's already service connected, everything is already covered, total and permanent for the rest of your life, tax free. So our recommendation is always hang up the sword, leave the arena, you have won. There is potential if you're 100% service connected, permanent and total, and you file new claims, that they could open up your entire case for re-review, and that would put you at risk for potential reduction. So from my perspective, not worth the risk of potentially losing your 100% or your PNT. Jesse is 100% service connected veteran. He can speak a little bit to that. But with regard to toxic exposure, at 100%, Lance, you're already service connected for any respiratory issues, any skin issues. They're already going to treat you for it. It's not probably going to be a high enough rating, if successful, that it'll put you into SMC, special monthly compensation. So again, weigh the risks, opening up your entire file to something that's not going to give you anything additional on your compensation. Jesse?
Lance, sir, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm 100% PNT, and there's several conditions under the PACT Act that I can file for, or the burn pit exposures, environmental hazard exposures. I'm not messing with it. 100% PNT, like Jen was saying, it's not going to get, more than likely, it's not going to get any additional compensation via SMCs. I wouldn't mess with it. I would leave it alone. Over the last 2 years, I've worked with a handful of veterans that continuously try to add stuff after they got to 100% PNT. And hence, I'm working with them because they're not 100% PNT anymore. So, Lance, I would leave it alone, sir. Don't mess with it.
My husband is 100% service connected for mental health. So all of the other conditions that he really didn't get to throw in there, it seems kind of like a missed opportunity, but it really isn't, because he just got it. So he already still is service connected for all of those conditions, just under that blanket of 100% PNT. My son is 90%. When he gets to 100%, there's still going to be a lot of unaddressed issues, including his toxic exposure conditions, but it's okay because he's going to have achieved 100% PNT, and he doesn't need that to maintain that stress and that battle throughout his life. So truly 100% is meant for you to take that peace of mind, take that level of knowledge that I'm good, I'm covered. And it's the compensation is tax-free for the rest of your life, and put it to bed, transfer your focus on a different battle, because this one's been won. That, as far as, for me and for Jesse, that's our perspective. Definitely weigh out the options with regard to the risk.
Millard Hartley's asking, is it easier now to get a claim approved? Heard the process is made simpler. In the last 2 years, I'd say the process has stayed the same. It comes back to your strategy and your medical evidence. I've seen an uptick in the last 2 months of ACE exams. An ACE exam is acceptable clinical evidence, and we are seeing those to turn around pretty quick of those claims getting through the process. But majority of your C&P exams will be telehealth or in person. If you are lucky enough to get an ACE exam, that means your evidence was really, you had quality evidence. But the process, I wouldn't say it's made simpler. The submission process online is not difficult. So the submission aspect has gotten a lot simpler over the years, depending on the last time you submitted a claim. So the submission process, the hurry up and wait, all that has gotten simpler. But as far as an improved timeline, I'd have to say no, there's not an improved timeline on claims right now.
Related to the statement, what I was turned down, based on one form. So what you probably did, because it was appeal, was that you filed again on a 526EZ or filed online for a condition that had already been previously denied. You were appealing that. and they denied it and told you need to fill out the VA form 20995. So just fill that out, send your new and relevant evidence in, and get that resubmitted. If you don't have evidence that addresses the denial rationale, get that evidence first before you resubmit. Okay. If you're not submitting on a supplemental claim, a claim that's been previously denied that you're submitting for reconsideration, if you are not submitting new and relevant evidence that they've not yet considered, and the 0995 form, then you're not submitting it appropriately and you will get a denial. So what they're doing when you submit online a 526EZ for a condition that's already been denied, they're going to send you a letter saying, nope, you got to do this. So you're not denied. They just really didn't accept the claim. Fill out the form, add your new and relevant evidence, submit it through VA Quick Submit. Your coaches can all walk you through this process as well, and help you out with completing the form accurately as well. But fill it out. Get the evidence and submit it, and keep that fight going. Okay, don't just don't take no. Keep it going if you think you have the evidence to win that. But again, get with your coaches. They can help you with exactly what the best process is for success.
And do that discovery call. If you're not signed up for the elite service yet, do that discovery call and, explore your options with us, see if we're the right fit for you, and we'll see if you're the right fit for us. Because like Jen said earlier, not every veteran is right for our program.
Diana Edwards, we are going to be throwing a link up for you so that you can do the calculator, the VA disability calculator. You can go to our website and search keyword calculator, put in your individual ratings, and it'll give you your combined VA rating. So at 90%, it'll tell you where you fall between 85 and 94. Okay, so I sent that to our behind the scenes crew. They'll be throwing that up for you. There it is. There it is. So that'll help you with the exact. I'll tell you exactly how close you are between 90 and 100.
And then George has a good question. George Contival. I hope I pronounced that, sir, correctly. If not, I apologize. I'm at 10%. At what percentage does VA stop deducting from my retirement check? So, that was very important to me as well, since I'm retired. The percentage you're looking for is 50%. Once you hit 50%, you're eligible for concurrent receipt, and you will receive your VA disability check and your retirement check. If you get to 50%, when you get to 50%, it has to go through an audit process with a DFAS. So it may take a month or so for that all to get straightened out, but all retirees have to have an audit done through DFAS for their disability and their retirement checks.
So George, that's really good incentive for you to keep going, moving that needle. If you're 10%, there's a really good likelihood that there's potential for 50 to 70% ahead with regard to a lifestyle impact claim. So get with the coach and work on moving that needle so you can get your disability and your retirement concurrently.
And then something else just to add to that that's completely different from the question George asked. When you hit 30%, you're eligible to add your dependents to your disability and receive additional compensation for them. So if you're sitting at that 30% and you don't have your dependents added, get them added so you can receive that additional compensation. A lot of veterans are aware of that additional compensation, but they don't know at what percentage that they become eligible for that.
Good point. Very good point. Becky Hall, I'm 20% disabled. I was drawing 30, but I was reduced in the 2000s. I'm older now and feel I really should be reevaluated. Becky, you are not the exception. You are the rule. People who think that they're rated and that's what they have to accept. Okay. If you were rated 20 years ago or prior to 20 years ago, obviously your condition may have gotten worse. You may have developed some secondary conditions related to potentially taking meds, wear and tear on your body, depending on what the condition is. Definitely get with the coach about how best to develop and support a claim to move that needle back up from 20 to where you actually should be. As we age, let's start all the way back to when you're 17 or 18 and you join the military, and all the things your body goes through between 17 or 18 and 22 and 23, your first few years. And then you re-up, and all the things that your body goes through, depending on what your MOS is, it's going to, trash your body a lot faster than others, but there's still wear and tear on your body, especially from boot camp, basic training. There's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of physicality, a lot of unreported injuries. I know you guys know I'm talking to you. You hurt yourselves and you didn't tell anybody. You just have been taking ibuprofen for 30 years. And now you need to go to the doctor because you can't stand up the first 15 minutes you get out of bed. Your knees are cracking. You drive a big old truck that it hurts like hell to get out of. Come on. Now is the time to start developing it, because you're not 17 or 18, and the things you did those first few years as a young buck to your body and didn't seek treatment for are coming back to get you. If you are service connected and it's a joint, a knee, an elbow, whatever, you're still using that whether it hurts or not. So you're likely causing that to deteriorate as well. So an increase is probably in your future. And depending on how it's listed on your code sheet, degenerative, arthritis, keywords are going to tell the VA that you're likely coming back for more because it's going to get worse throughout your lifetime. So Becky, definitely schedule, if you're not already working with a coach, schedule the free discovery call. Talk to them about kind of, a little bit more about what you've typed in here, and get with a coach, because we can definitely help you with developing a well-supported claim to get that moved.
Michael Dancy is asking a little bit about PACT Act. I'm 90% service connected, and I've been receiving paperwork from Veteran Affairs telling me to file for the PACT Act. So, before you should file anything, you should make sure you're in a qualifying location at a qualifying time, and two, that you have qualifying conditions for it. I'm going to have our behind the scenes folks post some links to our free resources that talk about the PACT Act. And if it's something you're eligible for, absolutely you should be filing for it, but you'll want to make sure you have that medical evidence first.
Diagnosis. So we're finding that a lot of these people, they're sending these letters to a veteran based on not necessarily matching all of the criteria. They're seeing that you may qualify for PACT Act. They're not looking to see, oh, this guy's already P&T. They're, just making sure that they're getting the information out for the veterans, and they're putting it on you to make sure that you've got all your I's dotted and T's crossed, and that you understand all the criteria. So if you don't have a diagnosis, it's not appropriate to file a claim. You want to make sure that you have that you have a diagnosis, that you've been treated for a complaint, allergic rhinitis, digestive issues, the cancers. Read the list thoroughly at the website. It's going to give you all the information about the PACT Act, the conditions, the locations, the timeframes. So make sure that you checklist yourself before filing an unsupported or undeveloped claim. You don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it's done. You want to make sure that when you're filing a claim, you've got a claim that's well developed, and filing a claim without a diagnosis is the fastest way to get a denial. So just a heads up on that. Make sure that you educate yourself with regard to the PACT Act. They are sending these letters out, but that doesn't mean that they're telling you you qualify. They're telling you you may qualify. This may be appropriate for you. So do a little bit of research, or get with a coach and do it as a team before you are throwing that spaghetti at the wall. Let's see. Can I go to Yoon Ronalds? What is SSD? So I've kind of mentioned a couple of times lifestyle impact or mental health as a secondary to your already service-connected conditions. So the VA used to rate chronic pain syndrome, but it's a lot bigger than that. Okay, so it's not necessarily chronic pain only. veterans who, if I open up a veteran's screenshot and I see that they're 70% connected, they've got a back condition, a knee condition, they've got a lot of conditions that are causing pain. That's the first thing I'm going to say. All right. You've got chronic pain, significant lifestyle impact. It's disrupting your sleep. It's disrupting your focus. You're a cranky guy. I can tell by looking at your rating. So you're definitely appropriate for SSD. So SSD, you're definitely appropriate for lifestyle impact. SSD is a specific diagnosis. So we're not going to just file a claim for SSD unless that's the diagnosis that you receive. It's called somatic symptom disorder. And a lifestyle impact claim is based upon the somatic symptomology. How is your service-connected condition affecting you emotionally, affecting you based on limitation? What are the things that you can no longer do or are significantly impaired because of your condition? You have to take meds every single day, or do you have that pain that is recurrent and chronic that keeps you from sleeping well, keeps you from, being nicer on your responses? And again, this is something that I know Jesse can talk to also, but SSD is one diagnosis that you could achieve when you're developing a lifestyle impact claim, and that could be related to the chronic pain or significant impairment related to a service-connected condition.
When you're doing a mental health claim, don't worry about the acronym you're diagnosed with. Don't worry about if it's PTSD, MDD, GAD, SSD. Don't worry about it because they're all rated the same. Going into that mental health evaluation, whether it's with Telemedica or anyone, focus on your signs and symptoms. That's what you'll want to focus on. Focus on your signs and symptoms of your mental health.
I love that you brought this up because people do get hung up on their diagnosis. And that's not where you should be hung up. You definitely should be talking about your symptoms, your impairments, how does your mental health affect you at work or in a work-like setting, at home or in your relationships, your family, and out in public and dealing with social settings or situations. What your diagnosis is, as far as the VA rating goes, really doesn't matter. You have to have one. And mental health ebbs and flows throughout your life. So at one point in life, you could be diagnosed with adjustment disorder. Another point in life, it could be PTSD. Another point in life, it could be generalized anxiety disorder. So your mental health is going to change throughout your life and throughout the situations that you're living in. What you're listed for your diagnosis on at the time of your VA rating is just a name, because they have to have one. It could be PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, depressive disorder, Chevy Silverado, Starbucks coffee. It has to have a name. has to have a name. And then put that aside. Okay, I've got my name. Now we need to go talk about my symptoms, because the symptoms and the level of overall impairment is where your rating comes from. That's what's most important. So seeking a diagnosis is definitely part of the process, but being really clear about the frequency or about the symptoms and their severity is most important when it comes to supporting a mental health claim.
Man, Jen, this hour has flown by. We're almost out of time. Real quick, just want to remind you guys, for those that are signed up for Elite Services, we offer 3 live Zoom classes a day. You have coffee with the coaches in the morning. Then the other 2 classes we offer are mental health exam prep and medical exam prep. That exam prep is the most important thing you can do for your disability claim, is to make sure you're prepared for that CMP exam, that compensation and pension exam. If you want to know more about our program, do that free 30-minute discovery call that they're going to throw down below. And we'd love to work with you. We'd love to get you signed up to work one-on-one with one of our coaches and help you reach the goal you want to achieve.
It looks like we had a lot of questions that we didn't get to, and we apologize. We want to make sure to give as much attention as we can to the questions. If you didn't get your question answered, do the free discovery call, please. Get your question answered, understand how we can help you. When you do sign up, when you do join the Elite program, please do yourself a favor of jumping into an orientation group. We offer several options, so daytime and evening, but please do yourself a favor so you truly understand the program and how everything is going to work and benefit you. And that'll really give you the best start to the entire program. Thank you guys for joining us. This is an amazing commitment that you've made to understanding the process, VA claims process, and we appreciate you for being here. Take care. We'll see you the next Facebook
Live.
Live.
Have a great day.